Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a review and demo video on the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation. I know this is not a new foundation in the market at all. This has been in the market for about more than 2 years I think, but I get a lot of requests on my channel to show a demo and review video on this foundation, so here it is. So the price of this foundation is rupees 3,310 in India. It contains 35 ml of product, which is slightly higher than a regular foundation. So the packaging looks like this, looks very sleek and modern. So it comes in this acrylic container with a plastic cap on the top. And inside you have a pump, which is an amazing thing in a foundation. I really don't understand why some of the brands don't include a pump in their foundation, because I feel it's a must. So anyway, it has a pump which is amazing to dispense the product out of this container. Cap shuts very tightly on the bottle, so there is no chance of your foundation to spill anywhere. It's very secure inside this container. I picked up the shade called Gingerbread, which is the number 430N, which I think is a pretty close match on my complexion. This has a lot of golden and yellow undertones to it. The consistency of this particular foundation is like a thick liquid consistency. This is a consistency which you would typically see in a concealer, but yeah, this is the consistency of the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation. Also, this foundation has a strong fragrance to it, which can be a little annoying for some people. This is certainly not a dewy or glowy finish foundation at all. It is completely matte on the skin. Now I'll quickly show you a demo of this foundation with a sponge and a buffing brush on each side of my face. So without wasting any more time, let's dive right into the demo. So I've got the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation with me in the shade 430M Gingerbread. Like you guys know, I'm going to apply the foundation on one side of my face using a beauty blender, and the other side I'm going to use a buffing brush. So this is a single layer of the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation using a sponge. So this is the foundation application using a buffing brush. Honestly, I cannot make out a difference with both the tools. They both gave the similar kind of coverage and result. And as you can see, a single layer itself has given me a lot of coverage. I really don't think I need another layer on top of this. This has covered up all of my acne spots, the dark circles and the hyperpigmentation pretty well. So I'm just going to finish off the rest of the makeup and come back to you guys to talk more about the foundation. So I'm back with a full face of makeup, you guys. All the products used to create this makeup look will be listed in the description box, so don't worry about that. So this is how the face looks after doing an entire full face of makeup. Let me just zoom and show you how it looks up close. So this is how my skin looks after applying the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation with an entire face of makeup. So I just used one pump of this foundation to get a full coverage base on my face today, and that itself just gave me that extreme full coverage. It hides my hyperpigmentation, acne spots and my dark circles pretty well with just one pump. It looks and feels pretty matte on the skin, and my bronzer, blush, highlight, everything went very smoothly on top of this foundation. This doesn't give you that poreless, flawless finish to your skin. I can still see a lot of my pores and the texture on my cheeks still visible. And not only that, I feel this foundation slightly accentuates the texture of my skin a bit more. If I go close to a mirror, I can see that the foundation is settling onto the fine lines on my skin. I can see every single line and texture on my skin very evidently. This is not one of those foundations that would just melt and sink with the texture of your skin itself, but it just sits right on top of your skin. So that is why you can see all of the texture and fine lines are more pronounced with this foundation. When you use this foundation on your skin, it is very evident for others to make out that you're wearing some sort of makeup onto your skin. Well, not some sort of foundation, it is pretty evident that I'm wearing a lot of makeup on my face. This is a pretty matte finish foundation, so if you have a drier skin type, you would have to make sure that you use a very rich and thick moisturizer on your skin before you apply this foundation. Otherwise it can be very drying on your skin. Even with my oily skin, this is kind of settling on the texture of my skin, so for drier skin types, I would absolutely recommend that you use a very rich and thick moisturizer to make this foundation work. But other than that, I did do a full wear test on this foundation yesterday. I wore it for about 5 to 6 hours, and I was working in the kitchen making food. Even with all the heat and humidity, this foundation stayed up pretty well. It did not melt off of my face. It was still intact on my skin. I could see a little bit of oil on the T-zone area, which is pretty normal for the kind of heat and humidity that is going on right now. But I'm pretty sure if you're under some air-conditioned environment or in a cooler place, this would not even give you that slightly oily finish on the T-zone. Bear in mind that I have an extremely oily skin type, so that is pretty normal on my skin type. I do have some of the other foundations which would just melt off of my face, but this doesn't do that. It stays put and stays intact on the skin. Since this foundation has a lot of strong pigment to it, it pretty much covered all of my hyperpigmentation even without a color corrector, which is amazing, because typically I would use an orange color corrector to even out my skin tone thoroughly. But with this foundation, I really don't think I would need an orange color corrector to even out my skin tone. I'm pretty sure if you try to layer this foundation up, it is going to look very cakey and unnatural on your skin. You have to be very cautious when you use this foundation, otherwise it can go real cakey real soon. I wouldn't recommend this foundation to all of you, only if you have an oily skin type and if you like that extremely full coverage, then you should absolutely go for it. Otherwise, I wouldn't really recommend this foundation to everyone. Maybe for professional makeup artists who know how to use things and products properly, because most of the Huda Beauty products have a lot of pigment to them. Only if you're an expert or a makeup artist and know how to work with products can use such kind of pigment-packed products. This is certainly not for beginners out there or people who like natural sort of finish from their foundation. On the whole, this did not really impress me so much. It's just right in between. It's so. I like the longevity and how this held up on my oily skin, but I don't like the fact that it slightly accentuates all the texture on my skin and looks like I'm wearing makeup on my face. I picked up the shade 430 and Gingerbread. So they have labeled it under the neutral undertones, but honestly I think that this is more on the yellow and golden undertones. This is a warm shade of foundation and I think it is pretty close to my skin tone, because I did try the shade Cinnamon on a Nykaa store. It was slightly deeper than my own complexion, so I didn't go for the shade Cinnamon. Initially I thought Cinnamon would match me better, but I was wrong. The shade Gingerbread is a better match on me. So those were my thoughts about the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation in the shade Gingerbread. I know a lot of you have been requesting for a review and demo video on this particular foundation, so I hope you guys liked this video. So yeah, this is it for today's video. I really hope that you guys found this video useful and helpful and enjoyed watching this. If you did, make sure to give it a huge thumbs up, comment, and do not forget to subscribe to my channel for more such videos. Make sure to hit the bell icon to get notified each time I upload a new video on my channel. Stay home and stay safe and take care of yourselves, and I shall see you guys soon in my next video. Bye!